Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Cable and Credible Radio. How is everybody out there in Radio Land? We are well, as I hope you are. What's going on, Justin?
What's going on, Cable Guy? How are you this beautiful, beautiful evening?
Oh, I'm good, hanging in there. So, let's get all caught up on this week's events. Didn't you do a couple of wrestling shows or something like that?
I certainly did. I did one Saturday out in Laconia, New Hampshire, which is, a little bit out there in biker country. Really good turnout. I really enjoyed it, hanging out with the fans. And it was a good draw. I had a good time. Sabu was involved. Got to do some stuff with him. He put me through a table.
Nice.
Yeah, and, business as usual from the ECW guys. But it was cool. It was cool catching up with old friends. And, the promoter screwed me out of $50.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's
wonderful, and I did the best job I could. I drove 4 hours each way and didn't ask for a whole heck of a lot. Did it for a favor, cheaper than I normally do it, and you always get burned, man.
Right. Well, my father, who has had his own small business for 30 years, always ingrained in us. Once you clear up the deal, it's never straight again. And
No.
No,
he tried to do this to me before a couple of years ago, and I let it slide then. It's sad because I do, I try to, because I've done some things in the past that are not, the most,
right,
good for business things. So I try to keep it, I expect people to give me a second chance.
Right.
And I was sadly disappointed. But anyways,
right. Hey,
whatever,
I hear you on all, but see, here's something I've always wondered, is that aren't a lot of these weekend warrior promoters worried about if they get one of the boys, especially ones from back in the day? Because I'm not going to put anyone out there, but I'm sure people come to mind where, so ECW guys, old WWE guys, if they show up to an indie show and the envelope's not good, you run the risk of them beating you up. Aren't these guys worried about that?
You do. They don't seem to think so. They seem to think that, and it's getting less and less now like that, which in some ways is a bad way because it really does give promoters the license to do what they want. Because they're all, it's like a sewing circle. They all talk about, oh yeah, this guy came in, he was good. This one was a dick. This one was, drinking or partying too much, or you know. So they all talk, and God forbid, if I said something, I'm sure he would have had. I didn't go public with my thing, because it's just I don't like to do that. And I just don't even bother. But it burned me up a lot. It burned me up a lot. Really, because it's only $50, but $50 could mean the difference of
making money and not making
gasoline
money.
Yeah. Well, it really does. And the risk I take, risk versus reward, is it's a thin line, man.
Yeah.
And as an independent entertainer, independent wrestler, whatever, it sucks. So, but other than that, I didn't get hurt. I didn't do too much. So, well, it was a success overall. So I got really annoyed.
So Sabu's still going hard?
He's still going, man. Yeah, he's still going. He's busting up, but he's going out there putting people through tables as he always has.
Right.
Yeah, he'll go till the day he dies. Bless his heart.
I've met him only once in person, but he was cool to me, and he helped get me into all of this. He was the first that said yes.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, man, Sabu was cool. You got to get to know him a little bit. He's a little strange. very much a protector of the business. But
Right.
definitely a cool guy.
Right. Right.
Definitely somebody you want on your team. You know.
Right. Well,
Uh,
well, yeah, he's you know, he was very cool with me, and not everybody has been.
yeah. Well, understood.
Yeah, that.
Understood. Understood.
Yeah.
So, what else is going on in your world there tonight?
Uh,
Any big news on the WWE front that I haven't heard of?
uh, no, nothing that I've really noticed. That, to be honest, I really haven't checked a whole lot. I was watching stuff more from back in the day. Like, I got caught up right when you called me. I got caught up of watching that shoot between Cena and Roman Reigns, where they just were getting nasty with each other.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
This year's WrestleMania build, I don't know if it's me, but it's not very good at all. I'm not excited for the show one bit.
Right. Well, the buildup. It
I
was
don't know if it's just me, but I don't know.
the buildup was a lot different back in the day. Like back when the NWO invaded, you just had to order the WrestleMania because you had to see if they were going to wreck the show or not on purpose, and
Well, yeah, I mean, but still, going into the biggest show of the year,
hmm
I would just imagine it just is good. It just doesn't seem like there's anything blockbuster.
right,
And Ronda Rousey and Shane McMahon versus Kurt Angle and Stephanie McMahon, whatever that tag team match is,
yeah,
that just does not arouse me.
yeah.
Will not pique my intelligence or
Well,
my interest. I would like to see Undertaker do something, and I don't think they'd keep me using his name if he wasn't. But with 1 week away, I mean,
right. Well, it's like
you know.
what I always wonder is why aren't they pushing guys like Rusev or Cesaro or even Dolph Ziggler, but like keep the push consistent in Dolph's case? Because
I don't know. I guess they don't. They certainly don't trust him as main event level guy for whatever reason.
yeah,
Which is mind-boggling.
r-
You know.
right. But okay, but even okay, let's talk. Fine, if we're gonna get into people trust, it's like look at people like Kane, who's been with the company for years and years, but he hasn't had as many title runs as he's probably should have.
Sure. Sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how the operation works these days. All I know is that this has been the worst media publicity thing for WrestleMania. They thought Ronda Rousey was going to be this huge thing,
Right.
and from what I've heard, I haven't seen any clips today, Cable Guy, but
Yeah.
from what I heard, she had some real awkward moments live on CNN, on ESPN
Right.
during a couple segments. So I don't think she's ready for prime time just yet. So they're going to take a real big opportunity on selling this huge event on her. So,
Right.
it's going to be interesting what surprises. I'm sure they'll have some. But one of them will probably be the Hardys getting back.
Right. Right.
And, but that's not, to me, that's not, I don't know.
I
Something's not right.
Yeah, I hear you on that. You see, this has always been my long-standing opinion, but they got to try to reintroduce the Attitude Era. I know,
Well, I agree.
I know it might
I
upset
agree.
some people these days, but that was just such a great time in the business. Like like I'm I don't know. I don't know. I should be proud or embarrassed to admit that I've like seen every single episode of Shotgun, Metal Velocity, and all that good stuff that played on Saturday after cartoons because we didn't have cable. So,
No, I mean, there's nothing embarrassing about it. It was a heck of a product. They had a great depth of talent.
right,
It was a lot of fun what they were doing.
right,
Right now, there's just too much instability, and the product really doesn't have much steam going into it. Their trends on Twitter last night were very low.
right,
You could barely find a hashtag for WrestleMania. Most of them that you find when you search are hashtags for next year's because it's already been advertised in New York. So this one's almost like it feels like a throwaway Raw,
right,
which is
right,
very, very weird.
Right. I feel you. Like, it's WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's really weird. So, let's hope I'm pleasantly wrong. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic show. Everybody will be in town. I'm super excited. I'm going to be there. So, it's going to be really cool. I probably won't be able to get any free tickets
Right.
because nearly everybody and their mother's going to be there. I don't think we'll get a chance.
Right.
But that being said,
So, is there any possibility at your booth, let's say you're minding your business and someone from the office comes out and says they want to like put you on the show as like a surprise spur of the moment guest? Is that
I don't know. I mean, sure, why not? I mean, go out and, hell, you got to, they pay you to do that.
right?
So, sure, I'm always up for a payday. Uh, but I highly doubt, this year tickets, since everybody and their mothers are going to be there, tickets will be hard to come by. So
Right.
I doubt I'll be even there. I'll probably be watching it on the app
Ah,
at the hotel.
got it.
Yes.
So let's talk about that picture that's the background of today's show with Gold Dust.
Yes.
So where was that taken?
I was thinking a couple years back at an indie show,
Okay.
and I was doing a show at the time called Pro Wrestling 101,
Okay.
and he was on the show, and I said, you know what, I don't have a lot of pictures with the fellas.
All right.
I just thought it would be a neat kind of thing to, you know what I mean, just to start getting a little scrapbook, because that's one thing now with cameras and everybody having cell phones and social medias and stuff of that nature. I've just been very much more conscious of just snapping pictures, because you never know when you're going to see these guys again.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, just one of those things where I just stopped and, took an opportunity. So it was really cool.
Okay. So when I was trolling around YouTube, just looking at all stuff related to wrestling, one guy that I came across where I'm curious if you've ever encountered him is Hannibal, and he wrestles up in Canada for Great North Wrestling. Did you ever have any encounters with that guy?
I have not, no, but I've heard of him.
Right.
Lenny, I believe his real name is.
Right.
Yeah, no, I haven't, but he came from, I know who he is.
Right.
I've never actually wrestled him, though. But from what I've heard, he's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's actually a very entertaining video, to say the least, of him online where he smashed Terry Funk over the head with a picture that someone drew of Terry Funk and had framed, and it's like it's amazing that old man got up and just cracked that dude like that.
Oh, yeah, Terry suckers you in because he comes off as this nice old man, but when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Oh yeah, and and you see, here's the thing: is that one thing we do have in common is I have been hit with a picture like that, and I know that hurts.
Right.
That like hurts a lot in real life. It's like definitely stuns you. So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, Terry likes to lay that stuff in there. That's for sure.
oh yeah.
No doubt about that. Oh, he was one of the hardest.
So
For sure.
So another thing that's happened recently, well, fairly recently, is I never thought I'd live to see this day, but Jeff Jarrett going in the Hall of Fame.
I know, right? What a weird thing that is, isn't it?
Yeah, now I'm not burying Jeff Jarrett, because when he explained his side of the story, I'm not saying it's right the way he went about it. Okay, and I'm not saying he went about it the wrong way. That's just the way he did it. Because I understand what it's like to be owed money for past work and for people try to like weasel their way out of it, and it is very frustrating.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so, but it just seemed like one of those things. Like he would, I thought I'd be seeing Buff Bagwell back in the WWE for Jeff Jarrett, because in the whole grand scheme of things, like what was Buff really as for the fight with Shane Helms, was it really as bad as that whole monetary thing that happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Buff just was, he just didn't fit. Nobody liked him. He was just a bad apple.
Right.
Money could be forgiven. That kind of attitude that Bagwell brings to the table, nobody would have put up with him. He wouldn't have made it there one way or another.
Damn, he rubbed him
No
that
way.
he rubbed him that badly the wrong way.
Does it to everybody. That's just who he is, man.
Oh,
It's just who he is. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
and I don't see. Again, I've only talked to him a couple times, but he was very cool with me, and I
Yeah,
wasn't.
I mean, he could be a charming guy
I
and all
and
that, but,
I'm in the process of trying to bring him on. Okay, but
right.
like because he's one of the T-shirts we're going to be making. Okay, just for the people listening, there's going to be T-shirts coming out that have some pictures of the boys back in the day with a more newer, memorable saying for the more 2018 type of style that's out
Sure,
there.
sure.
And along like the first two people that said yes to me were you and Buff. And
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it, but you know something? Even he admits that he was kind of a jerk to people back in those days. So
Yeah. Well, Bagwell, the first and only run-in I had with him, I was there when he was in WWE, but I didn't talk to him very often. And the other time was about 10 years ago. I did an indie show with him in Las Vegas, and I was the headliner. And he was upset because he told the promoter that why am I going on semi-main event when he's just a local Northeast guy,
right,
meaning just in ECW. And it's like, well, first of all, he's not, and second of all, there's a lot more people here to see him than to see you, buddy. And which was the case, and he didn't like hearing that too much, so he no-showed the rest of the. He got paid and no-showed that event.
oh damn.
Yeah,
Well,
so
well,
shows
that's
the kind of character he is.
yeah, that's well,
You know,
I I
yeah.
I could understand. Well, I could understand. But you see, here's the other thing: is it like, and again, this is some I've never been backstage. So, well, yeah, and so one of those things that I can only hear what people tell me. But maybe you could shed some light on the whole thing. Like, you know, was a time where I would be happy just to be working 2, 3 days a week just to make my bread line. Aren't like the guy's just happy to be there and that the envelope is good and they're going to put on a good, so who cares when they go out? Because especially at indie shows, people, you know what I'm saying? They're there to see a
Is
show.
that?
Like it's not like Raw or Nitro where we're writing a story here, which again, you know, I don't know, it's kind of a mean
Well,
thing. That's a mean thing to say.
it's pay.
That's a mean thing to say calling you just a Northeast guy. Okay, it was ECW, it was WCW's competitor.
Let me tell you, it had nothing to do with his pay. He had been paid. He wasn't getting paid any more or any less. He was just that much of a mark for himself that he felt he should be on last over me. And the promoter didn't feel that way. And,
Well,
you know, see you
well,
later, Buff. You ain't the stuff.
yeah, it's well, it's unfortunate, but it's some people are like that, I guess. It's
Yeah. He's one of them, unfortunately.
so it's so
Yeah, I mean, so what else is going on in the world of crazy pro wrestling? I
well,
have, uh, I have, I have some interesting news on the documentary front.
I
A
just
friend of mine that worked with me quickly
okay.
for a short period of time in the culinary world is in a metal band that actually signed to a label, and their name is Crossing Rubicon. They're an East Coast band. They tour with guys like Hate Breed and All That Remains and things of that nature.
Okay.
Not necessarily my kind of music, but some of the kids that like hard rock are into it. There's a big audience for that, and they're doing some music for my documentary,
Oh,
which
nice.
we just got together today and did. Yeah, we're gonna have all original music on that. So that was the one of the new developments. And let me ask you this question:
Okay.
what do you think is going to be the best match at WrestleMania?
Well, I'll be honest. I've always been a big Daniel Bryan fan.
what is he even going to be doing now?
Anything he's involved in, man, that's why I want to. That's what I want to watch. Just keeping it
But
real.
I think Shane Douglas is hurt now. Or Shane McMahon.
Oh, damn.
So I think, yeah, Shane McMahon has been out with some kind of diverticulosis or something, an infection, and he's going to have to have the hernia removed from his stomach.
Ooh.
And it might be, it might be something that will keep him out of action until after WrestleMania. So that really, really, really is going to make it hard
Yeah.
for WrestleMania, which the more I see it, the more Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles may not be able to have that match that they are looking for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Do you think
Yeah, go ahead.
do you think they'd find some way to shake it up at the last minute? It's not the first time they've had to do it under pressure.
No, it won't be the first time, and it might go down. It might even be, I'm not sure, but heck, you might want to stick Daniel Bryan in there with Triple H and have Kurt Angle do something else. I mean, who knows? Or have Hunter bring in one of his buddies, maybe Shawn Michaels, and Hunter against Bryan, Daniel Bryan and what's his name? Shawn Michaels and that whole thing from the wrestling school. So we don't know what's going to happen. But hopefully that will be one of the things going into WrestleMania that they will do.
Well, I'll tell you this: if they bring Shawn Michaels in for the main event, Shawn always draws mostly, especially now.
Well, I don't think they're going to get Shawn out of retirement, but being that the teacher versus student thing and them needing an extra body and Undertaker and the lackluster events going into WrestleMania,
Right.
it's going to be very, very tight.
Right.
It's going to be a very, very tight thing. They need buzz behind that match any way they can, and that I think would be probably the only way to make it the blockbuster that they need it to be.
Okay. Well,
And it's an interesting dream match if you think about it, because you get Hunter back in there with Shawn Michaels, Daniel Bryan, student versus teacher,
right.
and Kurt and Ronda and Stephanie. That would be a show stealer, because we all know what Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar are going to do.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns is going to get the title, and it's going to be what it is. John Cena, I don't even think has an opponent yet, and it's not going to be the Undertaker, as I don't see them giving 1 week to promote it unless something happens tonight on SmackDown, which may be the case. I'm hoping for. I'm actually going to watch the show in a little bit. So who knows?
Right.
Who knows?
Well, here's the thing: is it's amazing how Triple H is still even able to go at this point of his career, and I'm not running him down saying that, but he's isn't there going to be a point where it's and I'm again not running him down, but isn't there going to be a point where the guys from back in the day are kind of going to completely move on and bring in a whole new group of people?
Well, but with him is his body's in great physical conditioning.
Yeah.
He works out all the time. Sees the best doctors, and is under the best medical care. And he only wrestles once every couple of years. So, from what I understand, Paul's in good physical shape. I mean, the body is the body, and at that age, that hurts anybody. But
right.
when you're on, the best supplements money can buy. And you're only wrestling once a year, that's not that, hey,
Okay.
he's that guy, and that seems to be a trend more and more. And the only other thing that would be interesting, which I know will never happen at this event, is CM Punk, because he signed to do a UFC match.
Oh,
so that's pretty much it.
He's not getting back in the cage again, is he?
Oh, yeah, he's got a fight coming up in June. So, I mean, that's definitely out for him coming up to WrestleMania. But, there have been rumblings that he's going to be on that Young Bucks Cody Rhodes show, All In October, September, something like that. So, yeah, there's news of that. So, it'll be interesting. I just find it very... I don't know. WrestleMania to me does not seem like WrestleMania. It just seems very much a very, who's Randy Orton even wrestling?
Right, right.
Is he an actor? He's not hurt, is he?
I honestly, I can't say.
I mean, I know Braun Strowman doesn't have a partner to face Cesaro and Sheamus, so possibly Randy Orton.
Right.
But again, that's not a big, it's not something that I'm looking forward to seeing. And,
Yeah, but
and that's the problem.
but they should push Braun Strowman a lot more because he's one of the few people who can actually like pick up and manhandle Brock Lesnar out there.
Sure,
But
sure. Yeah, I mean, I agree. But right now, I don't, it's a lot of guys, man, and I think the whole thing goes down to lack of storyline, lack of believability, and predictability. And Vince almost got what he wanted, really, because now you don't have to buy $99 a month pay-per-views. You could just buy,
right on the
the network, and then, so it's not going to hurt him either way. His subscriptions will be just fine, and the big show won't have to be the big show.
right.
As it usually was. So,
Right. Now, but you see, here's the thing: is like, aren't they like worried that like what actually made what was the point that was made that they just had to change everything from the fun, edgy excitingness of the attitude, and then go into the ruthless aggression, and ruthless aggression, I liked it, but it was no attitude era. But then they started plugging what they're plugging now, and like
right.
is it like pressure from sponsors, or because it's like back in the day it seemed like they didn't care.
I think it's pressure from sponsors. I certainly think it is. I think it's pressure from sponsors and everything else because right now WWE television really gives them, makes them most of their money. Touring and merchandising, of course, does as well, but it really does come down to what they get from the advertisers. So to me, I think that's the biggest one. And I don't think you're going to have to. I mean, wrestling will always be cyclical, and I think it's really we've talked about this, I believe, before in this
Yeah.
program. That it's about
Oh yeah.
to hit again. But I don't think it's going to be because of WWE. I think it's because of something in New Japan or something along those lines. It's really going to pop it for the business, and then when that happens, everybody really benefits, including WWE.
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to what that thing is, and I think that's going to be that all-in event that everybody's talking about. So that's going to be real interesting.
Oh yeah.
Real interesting.
Definitely. So here's a social media question I got. People want to know
Sure.
did you have any encounters with Enzo Amore and or Ryback?
I have not had with either,
Okay.
but I've heard nothing but bad from those two.
Oh really?
I mean, yeah, I heard Enzo was a complete jerk off, and they didn't even want him dressing in the guys' locker room. And Ryback, not to that extreme, but nobody really liked him either. He worked with a big chip on his shoulder,
Right.
and he'll be one of those guys that never gets another chance again. He had all the intangibles, but he didn't have the attitude and the business mindset and the mental toughness, in my opinion, to make it in that alpha male world of pro wrestling.
Okay.
He certainly was just not built for that. And Moraes just a mark with some likability and acted like a complete idiot.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, okay. So have you personally like been like present when people have been thrown out of the locker room? And can you just clarify for people when someone's thrown out of the locker room, generally there's very good like call for it, right?
Generally, yeah. I have not seen anything personally. I've not witnessed it.
Right.
But it's pretty much like they had guys in the locker room, pretty much the muscle, telling you, hey, you're going to get just outside, boy. Or,
Right.
something's going to happen. It's very cut and dry.
Right. Okay.
Very, very black and white.
here's another social media question. You know how I asked about the sort of black cloud around Ian Rotten? Well, some would say it could sort of apply for Disco Inferno because when just researching around for guests, I found out Disco Inferno is like blacklisted on like the Jericho Network and stuff like that. And it's like, what did this man do to like piss all the boys off?
I don't know. I heard he has the talent for doing that as well. I don't know him at all.
Okay.
I don't know any of his doings, but he certainly has the capability of really getting under your skin. So
Right.
inside end, I'm sorry.
Right.
That's for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So moving along here, kind of going all over. This is something I always wondered. How is it that ECW managed to get away with so long using Sandman's theme, like
Mm.
on TV? Because you know how they weren't supposed to be doing that. And that's why they changed it when they rebooted ECW, right?
Right.
You know, Enter the Sandman, the song.
Oh, wait, what about it?
Like, like how is
When
it
they
that?
rebooted it?
Okay, you know how back in ECW that was Sandman's theme is like. How is it that they managed to get
Right.
away? How is it they managed to get away with it for that long?
Well, ECW themselves?
Yeah, like putting that on
Oh,
TV and
wow,
every.
they did it with a lot of us. We came to find out that as long as you're playing the song, like if you listen to an NBA game and the song is not piped into directly to the audio, then you don't have to pay royalties.
Oh,
And if it is, then you do have to. So ECW just managed to have it loud enough that it
oh,
seemed like it was coming in the crowd through the arena and not piped actually into the audio feed,
oh,
which is actually genius, yeah. So there were no
oh,
rights owed there, and they did that for a lot of the wrestlers. So yeah,
right,
it was
okay,
great.
okay,
Yeah, a lot of little things that sometimes a lot of people don't know about that make all the difference in the world.
okay,
You
okay.
know, like today was the first time in 10 years that I had my name trademarked and that I finally own it myself.
Oh,
Took
nice.
me took me some time and a little bit of money, but I proved that I owned the gimmick since 1997 and had footage of it, and paid my money and got my yearly trademark. So
Hey, there.
with the autobiography and the movie coming out, I own the name Just Incredible. So
Oh,
that's
nice,
huge.
nice. Okay.
Yeah, very
So,
excited.
so here's another social media question I got. A lot of people are wondering, did Taz get a lot of heat for like, did they feel like he was like a traitor for jumping from ECW to WWE? Like I understand,
No,
now they were happy for him.
no. Yeah, everybody's generally happy for him. Nobody,
Yeah.
look, man, at the end of the day, this is a business, and I don't think anybody could fault anyone at that point for jumping ship, you
Okay.
know?
All right. Well, yeah.
And he was making a lot of money there. Paul couldn't pay him anymore, and
Right.
it was time. It was time. Taz went and got his money, and I'm glad he did it, you know?
Now,
Glad he did it.
is it true that Taz and Perry Saturn were just the worst in the locker room in ECW?
Hmm. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could be. Yeah, could be. Could be.
Well, I just heard I heard stories like they would like freak out if you lit a cigarette next to them, like not like little stuff like that sort of things.
Yeah, big
Oh,
time.
okay. Okay.
Hated smoke. Hated smoke.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So,
It was great.
all
Funny
right.
stuff.
All right. Well, we're gonna be wrapping things up here.
Very
So,
good, very good. I look forward to catching up with you. We're going to have a big week this week because the next time we talk, I will have seen my compadres, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. I'm going to pass along your information to those gentlemen,
oh,
see if we can get them on the show as a favor to me.
okay.
And also, we should be broadcasting probably live from WrestleMania weekend when you and I get back together for WrestleMania weekend because I'll be
Okay.
down there with nothing to do, and we got nothing but air and opportunity here, Cable
All right.
Guy. So I think we should do that to the fans, build up our listeners, and keep them coming back for more, man.
Okay, all right. All righty, so there you have it, everybody. This is Cable Incredible signing off. Let's all be nice to each other
Signing
out
off,
there.
man. That's not just the coolest. That's not your best. That's just the Cable Guy. Incredible, of course. Have a good one.
All right, bye now.
Bye.
This is a Chicky Beat production.